So now let us see what are the reasons for getting diseased. The first and foremost thing is ignoring self. So now here I would like to say that as a woman, every time, every moment, you just think of what best can be done for others, what can be delivered to others. So how can I make my family happy? How can I make my people happy? So everywhere, right from home to work, and then with people, everywhere, you're just trying to see how you can make the other person, or say the other situation, environment happy. But here, the main thing that you're forgetting is that you're focusing on nothing about yourself. That is, you are ignoring yourself completely. And whenever we do this, whenever you ignore yourself, the main thing that happens is it is going to impact certain things in your life, which is very, very important. So, which is the monthly cycles. So, the menstrual cycle. So, as I told you, the feminine is the earth. So, you are the one who's going to bear, or say, you are the one which is the reason for every creation on earth. So, the creation happens only in the feminine. So that is a very proud thing that we need to understand. And this is controlled and then handled by the monthly cycle that happens. Then the next thing is ignoring yourself is going to affect the pregnancy. So the pregnancy is a beautiful time, beautiful period, so which lasts for the 9 months period. And that time, if you are going to ignore yourself, it's going to affect in several ways, not just in one way. So we will see how it happens. Then the next one is delivery. So again, here also the main key. So I'm stressing on the point that ignoring yourself is key to every ailment that you're facing. So this has to be the ultimate jargon, ultimate goal in your life from now on, that you have to be not ignoring yourself and taking care of yourself. Then another thing is ignoring yourself is also going to disturb your daily habits, and hence it's going to disturb your health. So whatever we see due to these disturbances are just symptoms, and ultimately the final goal or decision, the conclusion is that you will be getting diseased. So let's see how not to get diseased. So now for the first thing, that let us just take up how ignoring ourselves is going to affect the monthly cycle, and then we will see how we can take care of this. So here, monthly cycles, almost now, nowadays we see that children from the age of 10, 11, okay, they get the cycles first. That is, the menarche time has been very much preponed. So in olden days, it used to be like the age for the girl to attain puberty used to be from 13, 14, and sometimes even 15. But now it has become so much, because that is because we have spoiled the energy within. So because of that, children get at the very, very early age, and not just getting early. So people of the modern times are having periods which are very irregular, painful. So there might be dense flow, that is heavy flow, and sometimes scanty flow. So now here, this will happen generally. And another one more thing that is most ignored is white discharge. So that also is part of the hygiene habits, or say health of the women. So now these are all affected by many of our activities. So now, for example, going out in the heat. So already whenever a person gets the monthly cycle, there is excess heat generated in the body. So the abdomen region is completely hot. So in that time, if you are going to load your body with more of heat, then that is going to disturb the cycle. Now, there are certain times when people think of postponing the menstrual cycle. So they don't want it to happen at that time. So it may be, the reason may be some travel, the reason may be some puja at home, and the reason may be some important other tasks that they have. So for that, people take some pills to postpone their menstrual cycle. The food pattern has to be of utmost care. You need to see what you eat, watch what you eat. So that is also a very key concern to take care of the monthly cycle. Then the sleep pattern. So during the cycles, the sleep pattern has to be maintained. Then the use of sanitary pads. So use of unhealthy, cheap ones. So generally what happens is we focus more on the external things. So nowadays, that is what the trend is. So people look at how I present myself, but not care of their own health. So that has to be the first thing. So basically, the first thing that has to be taken care of is about the internal things that we use, the inners that we use. And then we think about the external. So now here, many of the things like which we discussed, these cycles can be corrected to most extent because see, this is what the science is. The traditional science strongly believes that if the uterus is healthy, then everything else that follows. So the list of things what we saw previously are all just aftermaths. So if we take care of our uterus, if we take care of our menstrual cycle, then all these can be avoided. So the first thing that we would say is small dietary changes in your life, small dressing up changes in your life can bring a lot of good health to you. So here, and there is a very strong reason against it. So as I told you, there is excess heat generated in the body during the menstrual period. So that is the core reason why people used to say that during your menstrual cycle, don't go to temples, for example, because the temple is a region, the sanctum is the region where there is excessive heat generated. And during the cycles, when you are also carrying so much of heat, so there will be imbalance of energies, and that may cause some health challenges. So this is the reason, the core reason behind not going into temple, not going into the kitchen. So why do they say that don't enter the kitchen? So stay away for 3 days. So these things are all very much, in olden days, people used to know why, know the reason, but the reason was not put forth to the children. And that is why we don't know why we used to sit. So we feel that now in modern times, it's not possible. I have to go to the kitchen. I have to go out. So now it's not the reason, it's not a way of just getting into the kitchen. It's about how your health is going to affect what is happening. So now how your individual activities during the menstrual cycle, there is a lot of stress for the people, stress for the lady. There is cramps that she goes through. There is severe pain that she goes through. And then it's also a sensitive period of life because those 3 to 5 days, whatever the person is suffering, so she goes through a lot of emotional disturbances. So that needs to be handled. So that is the reason why in those days, they used to say you have to be alone so that you're not coming into the effect of the heat that is going to affect you, or even getting in touch with people. So now you can just avoid certain things, avoid certain mishappenings by keeping yourself aloof. So now here, a few things which we would strongly recommend, because now this we have seen, even my own. So why I'm here, I told you already that I have experienced these things. And even though, like, you can say that, are you not sick? Yes, I am sick even now. That is because I have realized this traditional knowledge is going to help. And so after the age of, say, for 38, I got this knowledge. And now 38 to 45 is only 7 years. So in the 7 years, I'm trying to bring in these corrections. And when you are bringing in the corrections, definitely you are forced to go through detoxification. So basically saying I am under detox, and in the process I'm getting healthy. So I am in the process of getting healthy. So even you, each one of you, if you start following this from this next cycle that you're going to get, I'm sure, and I'm very confident, and I'm telling you, in your next 3 cycles, you're going to see your health improvement. Every time you just have this, in the next 3 cycle, observe yourself, you are going to become much, much more beautiful. Like my teacher also used to say, now we have this beautiful lady, right? So now any lady is beautiful. When you see her eyes, you can see the beauty, because here the eyebrows and the eyes represent the uterus. So you are not seeing the beauty of the lady, but you are seeing the beauty of the uterus. So if the uterus is healthy, then the lady is healthy. So please make a note, each one of you, that this time when you get your cycle, please don't miss this. Try to avoid all dairy foods because they are very heavy, and then they are going to cause some gastric issues or say digestive issues. So this has to be cut off. This will increase the phlegm also. So we will know in our future sessions, not today, I'm not talking about it. And then you have to cut off on citrus foods. So any citrus food, sour taste during your menstrual cycles, please avoid this. Please tell your kids, please tell your daughters, daughter-in-laws, anybody, because this is very, very traditional knowledge. And if you go and look back into the older generation, our ancestors used to do the same thing to the ladies of the house, and they used to have a very, very healthy life. So do we remember there are people who used to have the menstrual cycle till 55, 60 also. But now we are having early menopause also. There are menopause syndromes, like a lot of disturbances during menopause. But believe me, the menstrual cycle should be a natural system, just like how you go and have your nature's call. You go for urination, you go for motions, just like that. Even the menstrual period, the 3 days period, also should be just one of them, and it should not cause you pain. So you are going to see painless days in the future if you just follow what we are saying here. Then the next thing that you do is have 3 drops of castor oil, okay, in your palm. Take it in your palm and lick it. So now why I am saying this, because castor oil, you can just take it in a spoon and then pour it in your mouth, take the cap and pour it in the mouth. But I am saying particularly that use it on your center of the palm and then lick it. This is because we have certain enzymes created. So even, for example, I'll tell you, when we go to temple, so when we go to temple, maybe that day you yourself might have made the prasad or the food that you want to offer in the temple. So you can give that, and then when it is done, once the puja is done, when it is given, generally we take it in our hands. So when we take it in our hand and consume it, the taste of it is going to be very different. And then only when it comes in your hand and then you take it, it becomes your prasad, and not when you take it with a spoon or take it in a plate. So that doesn't become your prasadam. So now there are special enzymes created in our palm. Okay. Even people say when you eat food also, feed. Okay. So you eat with your own hands, you get good health. That's what people say. And that is a fact. That's because the enzymes that your body require is created in your hand, not in others' hand. So then the next one I would say is, during your menstrual cycle, have a cold water wrap. So take a cloth, dip it in water, cold water, that is normal water, and then tie it around the abdomen, starting from the navel to the lower abdomen. So tie it tightly and leave it for half an hour. So now this is what it does is, when you take the castor oil, the heat in the body is eliminated, the constipation that people go through. So each one of you is a lady, so I do understand. I am sure that you all will understand whatever we are facing. So now here, when you take castor oil, your constipation is gone, and then multiple times motion that some people face, that is gone. The heat is reduced, and then when you put the water wrap, your muscle cramps, what you have, the back pain that you get, the lower abdomen pain that you get, so all this will go away. So please follow this, and then wear comfortable clothing. So now during those days, at least you can cut off your jeans. Don't wear tight fitting dresses, wear comfortable dresses. So if you see, in the olden days, people used to wear very dress which used to be loose in the bottom. So from the hip, it is going to be loose, and also above it will be tight. So such dresses, the dress code was also made for each one based on the work they do, based on the type of food they eat, and things like that.